Hey everybody, 47 Mark IV here with a update on Modern Skyblock 2. So we have a problem. We actually have an enormous problem. So after the last episode, I AFK'd all night. I wanted to let the void miners run. And if you notice, these void miners aren't the same. And the reactor's missing. Well, turns out that something is seriously wrong with the turbine. Enough so that after I AFK'd and I shut off the pack and I loaded it back up last night to get prepared to record an episode, the pack wouldn't load. It would it would load up far enough that it would show me like the first frame of loading my base, and then it would just stay there and nothing would happen. And I'd have to crash out of the pack, and I went and looked, and there was no crash log. So, I loaded it again, rebooted the computer, nothing, still wouldn't do it. So, fairly obvious what the change was in between last episode and this one. But I went ahead and loaded the pack and crashed it, another dozen times or so, and it finally showed me a crash log. And the crash log did say I had a ticking entity, which is pretty easy to handle. Went into MC Edit and, took a chunk out of the reactor, just enough to make it an invalid multi-block, and, loaded the pack back up. And it didn't work. It was very odd. It would let me into the base and it would run at 1 frame a second. I could move around, but at 1 FPS, it's, not very usable. So I installed a tick profiler and profiled the world. Nothing came up of it. I modified the forge files to, remove erroring entities. That didn't work. And, I'm stuck. So I went to the extreme. I went back into MC Edit. And I removed everything. I just mass deleted this whole area, the 3 chunks that the reactor took up. And that didn't work either. So I'm pretty stuck. I don't know at the moment what block was ticking the world, but it is completely unplayable. And so I went through all of the backups, right? The server automatically backs up every couple of hours, and then I back up that backup on my network. Well, since I AFK'd for probably 12 hours, all my backups contain whatever error that is. And so the only copy of the world that I have that runs well is from, 5 episodes ago maybe? And this is when we swapped computers. And so it's missing. It's missing obviously all of the reactor stuff, all of the automation that we did, a lot of the new Britannia stuff. I didn't even get a chance to show you the automatic TNT tower. I'm sure I'm missing lots of resources, and, it's hard to tell. Like, I know I had machines out to here maybe, cause I had done a ton of work. And, it still doesn't run quite right. Like, the only reason it's running smoothly is because of the amount of back-end power that I've got going on this thing. So my choices are, I can try to make this world work, this copy of the world, put it in creative, cheat in all the items that we had, and then try to reinvent some new power, and then hopefully not have whatever happened happen again. I can take down all the things that we don't need or aren't crucial. But I'm just not interested in doing that. Every episode that I put out, every half hour of on-screen time is probably, 4 hours of off-screen time, in playing and getting prepared and all of that. And so, I'm talking spending an entire day just to get the world kind of back to where it was. And for a pack that doesn't work really well, I'm not interested in doing that. So I think I'm going to make the hard call here and say that this is the end of Modern Skyblock 2. I am a little sorry to see this world go. I invested a ton of work in it. I think we've got a pretty decent base. It was neat. It was fun to play. But if it's going to continually have errors like mechanisms a known problem, calculators a known problem, those are two pretty big mods. I think I'm going to jump into another pack. So I hate to say it. I'm sorry if you're disappointed. I'm sorry if that's, if you're just watching for this series and, that's a deal breaker for you. Hey, I get it. No worries. Right. I'm not just up and jumping off the ship here. I spent, hours and hours trying to make this work really well. And I just, at some point in time, you got to cut your losses, I guess. So what I am going to do, though, is I am going to start up a new pack. I do like having a 3-pack rotation. It keeps it really fresh and interesting for me, and hopefully lets me, keep up good energy. So instead of Modern Skyblock coming out tomorrow, we're going to get ourselves into a brand new pack. And I just wanted to give you all kind of an explanation and one last look around the world, before we say goodbye to it. So, thank you from me to everybody for all of the help that I got through this pack. It was very different. This is a very different progression and lots of new items. Had to learn a lot of new things, and that was fun. I like that. So it was a challenge. I'll say that. This is certainly, even though this isn't the expert mode of the pack, which holy cow, I can't even imagine what the expert mode would be like. It's still pretty expert mode. I mean, we had to go through lots and lots of stuff to make things work. So I'm gonna call it there. It's unfortunate, but it's reality. So this is 47 Mark IV with our last look at Modern Skyblock 2. I will see you all in a new series very soon.